Welcome everyone to MS Office Hours. It is Thursday, February 20th. Let me please introduce our hosts.
Hey everyone, I'm Stephanie Stevens.
And I'm Andrea Sangrio, and we have got a phenomenal presenter for you today. Super excited to have her with us. She is from Stephanie Heather Anni's alma mater, so we're super thrilled to hear from her, and I will let her introduce herself and tell you all about why she's here today.
Thank you, Andrea. It's good to see you and Stephanie and Heather again, as always. My name is Anissa Loki-Vega. I'm Associate Vice Provost here at Kennesaw State University. I'm also faculty in our School of Instructional Technology and Innovation. And I'm here to talk to you about data, essentially, and a project that we've been working on here at Kennesaw State. We have been using our learning management system and Azure Fabric, as well as Power BI, to build a learning analytics system for our faculty. So to give you an idea of what the experience is as a faculty member who uses uHoo Analytics, faculty will come into work possibly on Monday morning, typically Monday around 8 or 9 o'clock. They'll have an email in their inbox, and that email has some key data points. Perhaps you see here, we've got a student who, this is all generated fake data for purpose sake, but here we have a student who has created 3 alerts within our system, and this is the Monday Measures email. And so as a faculty member, when I see that, I would click the View button, and it would take me to a dashboard that holds the students' data from the semester within my course. And here I would be able to see how the student is doing in comparison to the class average. I'd be able to see which modules and topics that they've been visiting within the course. I'll be able to look at their attendance as well as specific attendance events. I can see some additional assessments as well as any recent quiz or assignment alerts. Now I might look at this and I might think, I need more information. How are the other students doing? I see that everyone's having a dip on quiz 2. Let's look into that. And so in the Power BI dashboard on the left navigation, we have several dashboards to choose from. We had just looked at the student analysis. That was an automatic link from our Monday Measures email. So in the course analysis here, I can see a broad overview of my gradebook, how students are doing, as well as distribution of those grades. I can see whether or not the class is clicking into the various modules and topics that we have. I can see the class average, as well as if any quizzes or assignments are alerting. And those will alert if a particular quiz or assignment has more than half of the students in the class failing that particular quiz or assignment. Then I can dive deeper into that quiz number 2, select the particular quiz using my slicers at the top, and dive in to identify where we might have some problems within that quiz. Down at the bottom of this page, you can see the word alert. And here as a faculty member, I might be able to identify that I have a particular quiz question where more than half of the class is getting it wrong. And so this would probably create some more questions for myself, and I would be curious, and I would probably go look at that quiz question and make sure that within the learning management system, I've assigned the correct answer. I know I've accidentally marked the incorrect answer as the correct answer. And here, this will alert the faculty member. We also have additional metrics available on this dashboard as well, looking at the quiz. We've recently launched a rubric analysis. So if you use the rubrics as a faculty member within the learning management system, you're able to use that data similarly to the other dashboards. And here we have alerts for the rubrics if more than half the class has failed a rubric, it will alert, or if a particular criteria or criterion within those rubrics are struggling, cause students to struggle, those will also alert. Here, as a faculty member, at the end of the semester, I might want to see what are the patterns of alerts that have occurred for my students. And here I would be able to see the types of alerts, and maybe that might inform some larger revisions that I make with the course. We've also recently created a dashboard or report here in Power BI for our program coordinators at our institution. When the faculty collaborate and use a common assessment for their program review, they're able to generate this dashboard, which can give them the data automatically that's being generated within every course section that has that key assessment. And that saves a lot of time. So the dashboards that we've offered are the list here. I've shared those with you. We are building one for advisors. That dashboard will take the collection of alerts and identify those students who have patterns of alerts that are concerning, such that the advisors can reach out to those students, much like an early alert system. Here's the technical stuff, and I am not the technical person. My colleague Sanjosh Akineni, did not join us today, but he has helped us communicate this to you, where the data is coming first from D2L. It's being pushed into Azure. We're transforming that data and then feeding it out through Power BI. We're also using the Microsoft login of the faculty to ensure that we have line item security. So faculty are only getting data that they're permitted to see reflecting their course materials. Or if they are a program coordinator, only those course key assessments coming from those particular course sections. I have to tell you that to get started, I did have to get some technical expertise to help us to get to this place. So I'll talk about that more in a moment. When we were thinking about building a learning analytics system, we had some key goals. Of course, the primary goal is to improve teaching and learning outcomes. We want our students to be successful. And if we can help our faculty be reflective practitioners, both within the semester as well as after the semester, that we theorized should improve those teaching and learning outcomes. Typically, when we look at data from our course, at least the culture in higher ed, is that we would look at that at the end of the semester, or we would look at it on an annual basis with our annual program review process. We want faculty to be able to easily identify struggling students within the semester and change their trajectory before the end of the semester. So we want to reduce those repeat rates within our courses. We also want faculty to be able to use data easily to identify problematic content or questions or rubric criteria within their course and within the semester, so that they can make those corrections to benefit those students in the course during the semester. We also want the data to be readily available, that faculty can create communities of practice and talk about how they can improve content and as well as instruction. And then, of course, this data can also serve that process to help programs and courses be revised after the semester. And we knew faculty are going to be more likely to adopt a tool that provides these outcomes if they could also use it to support their tenure and promotion, as well as annual review portfolios. So we took a different approach. We started, of course, we have fantastic offices like our Office of Student Success, which includes advising and tutoring. We've got student support, instructional support. We also have our student affairs group. Those groups have been actively engaged in student success for a few years now, and we've replicated that with the help and off the model of Georgia State's National Institute for Student Success. However, we wanted to find this a way to get faculty involved more deeply in student success, since they're the ones engaging with our students on a very regular basis, and they speak with them regularly. So the first thing, in order to create this approach of faculty thinking and thinking like a learning scientist, began first with them engaging with our learning management system, no matter what modality they're teaching in. By putting that data in the learning management system and using that as a point of organization for the instruction that they're providing, they automatically then start generating data of their students' engagement, as well as data in terms of outcomes or formative outcomes throughout the course. In order to make that manageable, we have been supporting our faculty in learning how to design their courses sustainably. This requires, or this is based off of the idea that if you design for the greatest transactional distance, which is Michael Moore's theory, that asynchronous online course, faculty can reuse that course design by hiding and releasing content throughout the semester based on the modality and the schedule of their particular course. So if it was a flipped course, for example, you would have all those video lectures posted up, but the discussions would likely happen inside the classroom, and so you would hide those discussion boards. And so sustainable course design allows faculty to spend the effort on building one exceptional course design and then using that for all their modalities. And by doing this, then their uHoo analytics starts generating some really valuable data about their practice. And they're able to see how particular assignments across multiple sections, across multiple years, are performing, and how patterns of student performance over time changes. So that's where the uHoo analytics dashboard comes in. And then we send them alerts, those Monday measures alerts, to prioritize their attention, but also generate that curiosity from our faculty to get them to dig into that data. And then we've provided faculty with professional development on using uHoo analytics, as well as a data analytics framework to think about their data and take action on that data. And the actions that data should result in includes course optimization, optimizing that sustainable course design, and then student interventions that are timely within the semester. Some key strategies that we've been using to get our faculty involved and to use the learning analytics system as well as the learning management system. We've set the conditions very clearly. We encourage our faculty to use our learning management system. We also encourage them to use templates, share course templates. And we set their expectations that it's certainly in the beginning that it was a pilot and that we needed their feedback on how we could improve the tool before more faculty were engaging with it. And we continue to receive that feedback from our faculty. So they had expectations that it was going to be a journey. We provided a functional solution. So after testing, we were able to release the solution to a pilot group of faculty and provided them with key information. We then started developing professional development for our faculty as well as communities of practice. And we provided some incentives for a summer group of faculty as well as a part-time group of faculty. And then we continue to serve our faculty by receiving feedback, responding to their feedback, and also alleviating fears. One of the primary fears associated with projects like this that I've heard not only from our faculty, but from faculty across the nation, is a concern that this data would be used for surveillance and it would be a penalizing experience. And so we have ensured that that line item access and security protects their data. We do not pull the data for administrator inquiries about faculty performance. We do look at the data in a de-identified manner in order to see how effective the tool is. But outside of that, faculty control all of that D2L data, and they limit who can see their data by adding their colleagues, if they want to share their data, into their actually their LMS D2L course section that they want to share. So they can also control exactly which data they share with their colleagues. So I've shared with you the particular dashboards, and what we want to do is we want to help the faculty ask the question when they're looking at a dashboard. What is happening? Why is this happening? Can I determine why this is happening? What's going to happen if I leave things as they are? Is there some sort of action that I can take, and would that impact what I've predicted will happen? And this is your basic data analytics framework, and we use this as a habit of mind. And we have provided faculty with 4 different professional development opportunities that stack into a digital certificate. So faculty first take an initial training called Introduction to uHoo Analytics. It's an asynchronous training that then they learn how to navigate the system. They learn where the data is coming from. And then such that they understand the nature of the data in the dashboards, and then they're given access. So faculty have to complete that module before they can ever see anything in uHoo Analytics, because we will not ingest their data into the Azure Data Lake unless they have taken this particular training. Once they've completed that training, then we give them, we offer them a course on learning analytics, how to interpret analytics, how to clean your analytics, how to ensure that you're receiving the correct analytics. And then the next course is really about the student. What sort of data implies that you should take action to intervene on behalf of a student, to support a student? Are there specific actions you can take to help those individual students make a difference in their learning before the end of the semester? And then the last course in the series is the course focused on continuous improvement of that sustainable course design. What data tells you about effective learning objects versus non-effective learning objects, and how can you identify what sort of best practices might address particular types of data points of concern? Once a faculty member has taken all 4 of these, they earn the Faculty as Learning Scientist Digital Certificate. So this project, we really took a traditional ADDIE approach, analyzing the project first. This involved understanding the problem. I had to seek technical guidance because while I knew that we could push the data into the cloud, I didn't know how we were going to do that. And so I reached out to our Microsoft partners in this phase to help me design exactly what it would what technologies I would need, and then what human expertise would I need. And that really set us on a path because I was able to articulate a plan. And also with that, I was able to hire our academic data scientists. And so that was a really valuable step in this process. And I'm very appreciative for those expertise since I didn't have those expertise. So then we went on to mocking up the dashboards, continuing with that technical guidance. We reached out to a Microsoft partner, and they were helping us to prepare for the build. We engaged our campus partners, especially our faculty, but also our University Information Technology Services team. They have been amazing partners in this process to help us bring this to fruition. And quite honestly, we could not have done it without them. Their support has been amazing, and they continue to be supportive. And then we were clear on exactly what our criteria were for success. We were able to go in with our Microsoft partners to go ahead and develop the dashboards themselves and start ingesting that data. And then immediately following, our digital learning innovations team was able to start working with faculty, recruiting faculty to be in the pilot group. They started developing the training, running focus groups to hear what faculty thought was effective or ineffective. And we continued to design the training as well as deliver and iterate on that training, which has now resulted in those 4 micro-credentials that lead to the digital certificate. And now we are definitely in a phase of measuring, revising. We're looking at different models for our evaluation and effectiveness studies. We plan to build a system report to tell us the activity that's taking place on the dashboards, provide us with other metrics about use, not who, it would be de-identified data about who is using it, whether that's faculty or advisors or program coordinators, and what ways they're using it, which dashboards do they interact with the most, and so forth. We also want to continue to expand our audience, who this tool serves. And then we are addressing little bit by little bit those feature requests that we get from our faculty who are active users. We do have some preliminary results on the effectiveness of this of uHoo Analytics in impacting student outcomes. So the faculty survey and focus groups showed us that the faculty self-reported that uHoo Analytics, those alerts, were prompting them to take action. And specifically, they were entering the system to look at the course analysis, student analysis, and the quiz analysis. Those were the most useful, or still are the most useful, dashboards for our instructors. The behaviors that they reported that they changed, because they were prompted to take action by uHoo, they had changed the way that they gave feedback. They adjusted how they communicated with their students, and their student interaction behaviors also changed. But we also heard from the faculty that there was a learning curve to using uHoo Analytics, especially in getting that data to be clean, which requires some skill and knowledge about using our learning management system, understanding those data sets, the nature of the data, and how that will reflect in the dashboards. And so while that's part of the training that we provide, it is a complex component that does have a learning curve. Faculty also are requesting common features. They now have asked for a discussion board, dashboard, or report. They're hoping that we can move to real-time updates. Now, right now, based off of the data that's being exported from our LMS, we're just doing this on a daily basis at the wee hours of the morning, but we hope to be able to change that at some point and have real-time updates, or at least very regular updates. And then requests for predictive analytics. And predictive analytics is an exciting direction for uHoo Analytics. This will require machine learning. And so we're excited that we have moved uHoo Analytics into the Fabric environment, such that we will be able to employ that soon, or start working on it. The quantitative data is very preliminary on how successful this is. We are looking at changes in GPA from a course that a faculty member teaches across semesters, the same course, looking at how the collective GPA of each of those courses are changing, as well as the withdrawal rates. We have very early results on that pilot group of 50 faculty who started now over a year ago, so that we have that year of longitudinal data. And there were some improvements for those faculty who were actively engaging with the dashboards. And the faculty who didn't engage with the dashboards but had signed up for uHoo were not seeing those gains. We have 460 faculty who have volunteered to join uHoo Analytics, and so we are ingesting their data from our learning management system. But as we look at the system and track activity, we see that we have just over 250 regular users. That doesn't mean the other users aren't clicking in there once in a while, but we're looking for multiple times per the semester and multiple dashboards. We've learned, I'm almost out of time, Stephanie. I'm close to being done.
You got
Yeah,
10
you're good.
minutes. You're good.
Yeah, if we can do 5 minutes more, and then there's a few questions that we'll answer in the last 5, if that's good.
Good. This is the last informative slide. The lessons that we've learned through this, how important it is to start with our audience in mind, our faculty. We need to know what questions they have, what problems are they looking to solve. We also needed to be sure that we set up our data and we got commitment from our leadership to not use the data for surveillance. That was critical. We had to reassure the faculty of that. And because of that, actually, I always have to share screenshots of someone else's dashboard because right now as an administrator, I'm not teaching, so I can't demo the tool for you because I have access to no one's data. And so that's been critical to gaining faculty trust in order to adopt the tool. We've involved them in the designs, and we started with a pilot group, and we have elevated those groups, those individuals, having them join us in supporting faculty who joined later. We found that our institutional technology team, that UITS team, it was critical that they were involved, that they understood the mission and the purpose. And once they were on board, they were mission critical. They did have to be open to stretching their skill sets because we were using new technologies for our institution. But we found that as an institution to be incredibly beneficial. Our team is highly skilled now in these technologies and excellent support to our teams. There's no replacement for your leadership support. Our president was provost at the time that this initially started and the conversations around this started. She moved up to be president, and our new provost was also supportive. That has had a huge impact on our ability to complete the build, access the data, get support and resources. We also found that it's really important to keep those university shared governance bodies up to date. Very early in the process, we let our faculty senate know that we had this 50 faculty member pilot group who were testing and editing the designs of the dashboards and helping us shape what uHoo Analytics would look like. We also were sure to explain to them regarding how we would use the data and how it would be protected. We found that outside the institution, there have been excellent lessons to learn from other institutions. But we also learned in working how helpful our Microsoft team was, to how readily and excited they've been to support us. And also with our Microsoft partner consultant team, they've been amazing as well. But we did learn that we have to create time for them to learn about the higher ed context and standards in order to effectively support uHoo Analytics, which has been happening. We just had to build time in for that. That is our tool. It is evolving even today, making changes and advances. Even today, making changes and advances. And we're learning new things, and new faculty are joining every day. So it's exciting here at Kennesaw, and hopefully we're going to see more and more students benefit from this tool.
Absolutely.
I don't get to be faculty like Stephanie, but I'm very jealous of these dashboards. Like just thinking about my own instructional practice, I think it's amazing. So in full disclosure, I didn't know exactly what we were talking about today. Dr. Hortman recommended you, and since you were one of my professors, I knew it would be amazing, but I personally have just learned so much. This presentation from start to finish, with all the ways you had, attacked the goal that you wanted to hit, is just fantastic. And I think the way you've highlighted the tools that you've used have made it really clear what we can do when all the data is in one place.
For sure. Couple of things from the chat, Anissa. First of all, I'll get to Chris Thompson has some, more discussion points. So I think if you feel like reaching out directly might be a worthy discussion to have with him, questions, but also sounds like Chris, you're working on some of this work yourself and have some opinions or notes, and I think that's healthy and good. Clay is asking, are you allowed to disclose what partner helped you with the technical integration pieces? Nissa, you mentioned this is landing now inside of the Microsoft Fabric environment from a data, sort of ecosystem perspective. But obviously, Microsoft's been partnering with you, but whom else has been a partner?
Sure, we've been partnering with a group called 3Cloud.
Perfect. And a lot of you in the higher ed space have either done work with them in the past or know of them from other work. They're one of our greatest partners, and we trust them to do good work. Okay, and then we've got another question here about the Fabric capacity. It's kind of a technical question, but do you know what capacity you have in Fabric right now? Are you at let me throw something out. Are you like an F64? Are you an F1? Like, what do you know about what you have there?
I don't know. Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's fine. That's
Sorry, I
fine.
don't know.
And
if you
did
send
you
me the
receive any
question-
Microsoft credits for the project? I don't think that we can disclose any Azure credit offers that are specific to a customer, but just know that there is a lot of room for Microsoft to support projects like this and our partners. And we try to, do what we can to be of service to institutions.
That's really a great question to go back to your account executive, like a Stephanie,
Yep.
for your specific account, to have those discussions around that support, whether it's to get connected with a partner or get connected with additional funding avenues from us or others. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's not always dollars and credits, right? Our sort of ways to support work comes in a lot of different forms, but happy to always have those conversations. And then last question that I think we can address here is this training available for non-faculty? I'm sure you've gotten that question for other people. I know that it's specific to uHoo in a lot of ways, but have there been other institutions that have wanted to tap into this resource, use the architecture, use the professional development resources? Is there anything developing there?
So we have had interest from other institutions for both, access to a similar tool or a copy of the tool or the faculty training. Right now, in order to engage with uHoo or the training, you have to be a KSU faculty member because we're using our Microsoft licenses to protect our data for individuals, and you can't log into D2L and create data unless you are a faculty member. But we have been thinking about how we can take our professional development and make it a little bit broader for other audiences to still pursue that faculty as learning scientist habit of mind. But we have not done that. It's something that we've been toying around with as an idea. That's something that certainly we could put on our website for the public or share with other institutions. We do hope to share uHoo with other institutions. We've not, while it is our institutional intellectual property, we don't have a plan to sell uHoo. We plan to share uHoo at this point in time. Things can change, but that is the plan. First, before we do anything like that, though, we really want to make sure that it works and that our student outcomes are improving before we, give the tool to another institution.
No, I think that's great.
Perfect.
I think I've been involved in so many data conferences and conversations lately. I think this is a topic that's really top of mind for so many people. And I know Stephanie said that was the last question, but there's one more in the chat and I really want to know the answer to this one. Do students have access to this dashboard for their own views and their own data?
Great question. No, our students don't. They may not even know our faculty have this tool available to them. It's pulling all the same data that already exists within D2L, and students are able to access their data within that learning management system. We've had a lot of questions and conversations around whether or not we want to, build dashboards for students specifically to look at their own data. We've heard some anecdotal experiences from other institutions that just gives me pause. And so I want to see how maybe that pans out for other institutions. Our students' mental health and well-being is really important, and I've heard that that being constantly fed that data for some students might create a challenge.
As you say that, I couldn't agree more. But as a student who likes to see my data, I couldn't agree more with having access to it. So I see where it could be a very tough conversation and weighing both sides, and maybe waiting a little bit longer to see what really shakes out with some of this stuff. So I think you all are approaching it very well. Steph, anything else before we say thank you and close out?
No, yeah, just thanks for your time, Anissa. Thanks for the work. It's always really cool to see a project come from like a percolation of an idea to something that's functional and in testing and moving into the next phase of readiness. So, and I'll just echo what Andrea put in the chat. For all the folks that are still on the call, if you have something that you're developing, something that you're willing to share, this community gets stronger, and we are of better service to our institutions and to our students and to one another as we share these things and cross-pollinate great ideas. So reach out to us. We're always happy to have you guest star on office hours. And thanks again, Anissa, for your time. We'll see you guys next week.
Thank you for the opportunity. Bye.
Thank you.